When you look at NBA history, it's safe to say that there are plenty of tragedies and plenty of sad things that have happened. Len Bias passing away, Penny Hardaway having injuries, Tracy McGrady having injuries that derailed the end of his career, especially times in his prime. And there are just so many what ifs. But I think we can all agree that the biggest what if in NBA history has to be the case of Derrick Rose, which is what I'm going to talk about. Guys, what's up? This is your boy Young Mustard, and I'm here with another video. Make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoy the content, make sure you hit the bell next to my name to be notified. Follow me on Twitter, the link will be down below. Now, back to the task at hand. Derrick Rose came out of high school Simeon, and he went to Memphis where he balled and went to the national championship where he did lose. But he was drafted as the first overall pick in 2009 and ended up winning the Rookie of the Year for his hometown Chicago as a member of the Chicago Bulls. Now we all know what happened after that. He ended up balling and then balling some more. In his rookie year, he had really solid numbers of 17 points and 6 assists, as well as 1 steal and 4 rebounds. Meanwhile, he shot 47.5% from the field, really solid numbers to get him the Rookie of the Year. In the next season, he was selected for his first All-Star game as he averaged 20.8 points, basically 21 points, 6 assists and 4 rebounds, and he shot 48.9%, basically 49% from the field. And then in his next season, before the next season, he had stated, "What's stopping me from being the MVP of the league?" And that's exactly what he did, because in his third year, yes, his third year in the NBA, at the age of 22, he won the MVP, putting up numbers that increased in each and every statistical category, as his numbers rose to 25 points per game, 8 assists and 1 steal, 4 rebounds, and shot 86% from the free throw line, 33% from 3, and shot basically 45% from the field. So basically, a lot of the areas that they said he struggled in, he improved. He became a better scorer. He became a better shooter from the free throw line, became better defensively. Even though he wasn't the greatest defensive player, he was still a good help defender. And he was able to lead the Chicago Bulls to 60+ wins in the Eastern Conference. And keep in mind, yes, he was first in the East, but you have to keep in mind that the East at that point in time still had Dwight, they still had the Boston Celtics Big Three, and they had Miami with LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh. So it was a pretty nice East. And as well, if you want to throw in the Pacers with Paul George and Danny Granger, this was a really solid Eastern Conference. And Derrick Rose was able to lead that team to over 60 wins, with a lot of his players being hurt, and with a roster which his second best player was Luol Deng. And also, if you want to throw in Joakim Noah as well, I know he was a great defensive player, because Derrick Rose, he took a team that would have been nothing without him. And for those who don't believe that, let's just look at the next season, because the next year his numbers did dip a little bit in some categories, as he dipped 22 points per game, 8 assists, 1 steal, and a block. And meanwhile, he shot 81% from the free throw line, and from 3, 31%, and from the field 43 to 44%. Obviously, some of his efficiency numbers did take a dip, and his turnovers, they stayed relatively the same at 3 turnovers a game. But the Bulls still did manage to win enough games to get the first seed, and he did suffer some injuries and only played 39 games. But this shows his value, because as soon as they got to the playoffs, he tore his ACL in game 1 of the first round against the 8th seeded Philadelphia Sixers. And when you look at the team, and when you look at the time and the score, there was no reason for Derrick Rose to have even been in the game. And I know to this day, Tom Thibodeau has to be blaming himself for the injury of Derrick Rose, because Derrick Rose, for those who doesn't know, he played a lot of minutes in the first 4 years of his career. In the first 4 years of his career, the least amount of minutes he ever played was 35 minutes a game. In his MVP season, he played 37 minutes a game. The year before that, 36.8 minutes. He played more minutes in his rookie year than he has ever played since his ACL injury, ever. And it may be due to injuries, but you have to kind of look at the fact that his rookie year, he played the second most amount of minutes in his whole entire career. And it's crazy because Derrick Rose should not be playing that many minutes for someone who's that athletic, for someone who has that kind of playing style, someone who's not great on the defensive side of the ball. When you look at Tom Thibodeau and the way he likes to run his team, it's very surprising that he played Derrick Rose so many minutes, and I know that did contribute to his ACL injury and a lot of his leg injuries. Because after the 2012 postseason where he did infamously tear his ACL, and they did lose in the first round, obviously without their star best player who led them to the first seed in the first place, the next year he did not play the entire season due to him recovering from the ACL injury. But in 2014, he did play a total of 10 games where he did not average the best of numbers throughout those 10 games to even begin with. He averaged 16 points and 4 assists, but he shot 35% from the field. And a lot of people I know may be saying he was coming back from injury, and I do give him, some slack. I cut him some slack for that. But he did only play 10 games, and he ended up tearing his meniscus after those 10 games. And this would be basically the beginning of the end of Derrick Rose's career, as injuries would become so prevalent in his career that he was never able to ball the way he used to. And then it got to the point where the Chicago Bulls ended up trading him to New York along with Joakim Noah, and they basically wanted to clear the old and bring in the new. As when he got traded to New York, a lot of people did praise his performance, as he did average a career high ever since the meniscus injury with 18 points as well as 4 assists, and he shot 47% from the field. But as time did progress, his athleticism did wane, and defensively he wasn't ever that great to begin with, and it just got worse as he lost his athleticism. And when you consider the fact that the league kept changing and Steph Curry and the Warriors started making shooting such a prevalent part in the league, Derrick Rose's game started to really hurt any team that picked him up. Because when you look at the Knicks, when Derrick Rose wasn't playing, they were actually better because they could space the floor. And when you look at Cleveland the year afterwards, because yes, he did become a free agent after the year with the Knicks, he was making hella money and he thought he deserved a max contract. Yeah, hell nah. As he went to Cleveland, and in those 16 games, he did not shoot very well from the three-point line. He shot 25% from three. Ever since the 2014 season, this man has never shot above 29% from three. And as the league just kept changing, you're not great at defense. You can score, we know that. You can get the ball in the basket, but you need the ball in your hands to be effective. And it's not like you can shoot threes, and you're not good at the defensive side of the ball. So there's really never any place for Derrick Rose in the NBA at this particular point in time. And what makes all this so sad is that this was a guy who was the face of the NBA. He was the franchise guy. He was the youngest MVP in NBA history, winning in his 3rd season in the league. And now he cannot even find an NBA roster because yes, he was traded to the Utah Jazz at the trading deadline this season, and then he was cut for waivers. And what makes it so sad is that right now, a video has surfaced a few days ago of Derrick Rose shooting a basketball in the Cleveland State Arena. And it looks so sad because this is such a new low for Derrick Rose. And I know a lot of people are saying, why would we even feel bad for millionaires? They're millionaires. But when you look at the fall of grace for Derrick Rose, no one has ever fallen harder than someone like him. And what makes all this even more sad is that right now, he's at the age of 29 years old. All of this ended before the age of 25 years old. He tore his ACL at 23 and then ended up tearing his meniscus at 25. And we all know how the story goes from there. And it just makes it so sad when you look at how great players like Russell Westbrook are, and him being considered the most athletic point guard in NBA history, when at one point in time, that was Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose was the Steph Curry of that particular point in time, and he was so young. And right now, he's still young. He's not even 30. He's only 29 years of age. What a fall from grace from Derrick Rose. This has to be the most saddest story in NBA history, and has to be the biggest what if. What if Derrick Rose never got hurt? That's a question that we ask ourselves basically every day as basketball fans. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment down below. Also, you guys subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you like what you see from this channel, hit the bell next to my name. Follow me on Twitter. You gotta follow me on Twitter. I'm so glad that you guys are subbed. Make sure you have a great day. Peace.
Let's talk about love.